We're going to insert a mini unit on exponential functions right here. So this kind of has its own name, and I'll just label this 1 for our very first video on exponential functions. And today we'll be focusing on graphing the exponential functions. So since it's been a few weeks, let's just review a little bit what it means to have an exponent, like 2 to the x power. In this case right here, where I have 2 to the x, when x is a positive integer, it means repeated multiplication. For example, 2 to the 4th means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 4 times, and that's going to be 4 times 2 is 8 times 2 is 16. It simplifies to 16. When x is negative, it means a reciprocal. So 2 raised to the negative x is rewritten as 1 over 2 and then to the positive x power. So if I have 2 raised to the negative 4th, it's going to be 1 over 2 to the 4th. And then that means the repeated multiplication, 2 times 2 times 2, and that becomes 1/16. And recall that when x is 0, 2 to the 0 is always equal to 1. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Now what I'd like for you to do is pause the video right now and take a pencil and try and go through and do these 6 problems and just see how you come out, and then turn it back on and I will work them for you. All right, so I've worked this first one. 4 to the 3rd power is 64. I've also worked C. 2 to the negative 3 is 1 over 2 to the 3rd. So 1 over 2 times 2 times 2, which is 1/8. I want to come back and talk again about this negative 2 to the 3rd. Remember how we talked about that the negative is not part of the 2. And so this is really like having negative 1 times 2 to the 3rd power. So that's going to be negative 1 times 8. So this answer is going to be negative 8. So be careful. Remember that the negative 2 is, I guess if you had multiplied it out over and over again, you would have come up with the same thing. But keep in mind that those are separate. As in this one right here also, this is going to be 5 times x to the 0. And x to the 0 is 1, so 5 times 1 is 5. 4 times 3 squared, remember PEMDAS, we're going to do our exponents first. So that's going to be 4 times 3, which is 9, and that's then going to be 36. And then here, again, PEMDAS, that's going to be 1/3, so 4 times 1/3, which is 4/3. So if you have any questions about that, bring it up in class next time. All right, so on the next page, we're going to complete the table of values below for the function f of x is equal to 3 to the x, and then we're going to graph it. So first it says we want to calculate what is 3 raised to the negative 3 power. So I'm going to write that. Recall then from our last discussion, that's 1 over 3 to the positive 3rd power. And then this, of course, then is going to be 1 over 3 times 3 times 3. So 1/27. So f of x is equal to 1/27. And then when we write that as an ordered pair, our x is negative 3 and our y is 1/27. Then we'll do the same thing for 3 to the negative 2. So that's going to be 1 over 3 squared. So that's going to be 1 over 3 times 3. So that will be 1/9. And our order pair is going to be x is negative 2 and y is 1/9. And then we'll repeat. So 1 over 3. So if I have 3 to the negative 1, so 3 to the negative 1 is going to be 1/3. So 1/3 there. And this is 1/3. So we get x is negative 1. Y is 1/3. Then if we have 3 to the 0 power, we get 1. So this is going to be a 1 here. So our point is going to be 0, 1. Then we'll have 3 to the 1 power, which is just going to be 3. And this will be then 1, 3. When we have 3 squared, we'll have 3 times 3, which is 9. So we have the 0.29. And then when the x is 3, 3 to the third power, it's going to be 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. And we have the 0.327. All right, so we'll pick up on the next video and graph that. So if you want, go ahead and try and plot those yourself and then double check.